Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4, Food Trends Podcast. We're glad
Mhm.
you're here. My name is Lauren Panoff,
I'm Anna Reisdorf.
and we're so glad that you're here with us. We love to talk about just what's going on in the food world because it's a crazy place.
Crazy. So crazy. So much changing. So today I wanted to talk about something that I know nothing about because this plant-based, what would you call it? Alternative meat
Yeah,
space?
alternative proteins.
Alternative proteins, that's a better thing. Better terminology is changing and growing so much with new things on the market all the time. Um, and like innovative things, products coming on. So I wanted Lauren to talk a little bit, and I can ask questions from a completely uninformed point of view about what is it called? Precision fermentation, which is
Yeah,
something new.
yes, something new.
Right.
I'm I'm certainly not an expert on it, but I do understand a little bit about what's going on, and it is really fascinating. So I think that, the more that it develops, we'll see more headlines about it, and people will probably wonder, like, what the heck is this? The question is always like, is this natural? Is this GMO? Like, those are the questions that come up, and it's like, okay, let's just define what it is and like what they're actually using it for.
Mhm.
Um, so in the plant-based space where I spend the majority of my time, there's the plant-based proteins, right? So you have like beans and tofu and like those types of things, actual plants. Um, you have like the plant-based burgers, um, the ones that are actually made like with beans and stuff, but then you have like um the Beyond Burger and the Impossible Burger and stuff like that.
What are those made?
So those, I mean, there are plant ingredients in those, but they also use other things. So like, um, so they'll use like heme or like a heme iron type of molecule to give it like the taste and the bleeding that it does, that like make it just like look like an actual burger. So
Mhm.
those companies are doing more to like, how can we mimic actual meat and target like those consumers that are used to those things and get them more interested in trying these alternative things that taste really similar and look really similar. Um, and then you have um, cultivated meat. So that is not on the market yet, but there are I think two companies now that have um, passed like the initial safety approval with the FDA. So they're not on the market yet, but they're like getting there. Currently, the only place that you can actually buy a cultivated meat product, so chicken specifically, is Singapore. Um, so back in 2020, you were able to do that. And now in the US, I think it was just last fall that like this initial approval started for two cultivated chicken companies. Um,
Cultivated meat, the lab grown meat.
so yeah, so it's gone by a few different names. So it was like cell-based meat and lab-grown meat and cultured meat and cultivated meat. It's all the same thing, but what they're doing is taking cells from a living animal, extracting it. So you're not like slaughtering the animal or anything. You're just taking the cells, and then growing those in like a growth medium using like a bioreactor. So it's sort of like brewing beer, um, in these big vats, and they use um, just like different nutrients that they need to grow and multiply. They use what's called scaffolding, to give it like the structure and then get you the end product that looks like a chicken breast or a steak or whatever, a ground beef. So that's pretty fascinating. I mean, to me, it's like that that's the future of like farming. You could get rid of all of these super giant industrialized farms that cause all these problems
Mhm.
that we're so disconnected from anyway, um, and have this alternative. I read an article that was like, in the future there could be like a community pig where you're like going you're like going and extracting your cells and then taking them home and growing it yourself in your kitchen. I'm like,
Organically.
whoa.
Okay, here's our dinner. I'm gonna scrape you today, Piggy.
My God. I was like, that's it's a little too much for me, but
A
like
little bit of a reach for me. I'm sorry, Lauren. It's a little bit much.
I personally will not be trying these things, but I think it's cool. I think it's cool, and I think that there's definitely a market there, and there's definitely, it's an improvement in a lot of ways.
Sure.
So anyway, that brings us to precision fermentation, which is kind of like the newest player, I guess, in the food space. It's been used to make vitamins and minerals and like micronutrients and stuff. Um, but now, so this is taking a microorganism, genetically modifying it so that it can produce um, like a dairy protein, like a specific nutrient or protein or whatever. So the product itself, the end product is not genetically modified,
Hmm,
but it's using a genetically modified microorganism um,
okay.
to make it. Does that make sense? Like you're giving it a job and it makes this protein, and then you can use that protein to make whatever. So most of what is happening with it now is dairy products. So like milk and yogurt and ice cream are the ones that I've seen the most of. Um, so it's actual milk, but it's not from a cow. So it's like it's if you can wrap our heads around that, like it's cow's milk with cow protein, but it's not from a cow.
So I feel like I don't know if you ever read that article about vegan collagen that I wrote a long time ago, a few
Oh,
years back.
sure. Yeah.
And that's what I think that they were trying to do was genetically modify a microorganism to make what they would consider vegan collagen. Because collagen, obviously, it's super popular as a supplement, but it's made from animals because only animals have collagen. They have skin and tendons and ligaments and whatever.
Right.
So if it's exactly the same and it's made from a microorganism, like would that still be considered like purely vegan?
So I
Because it's
think
kind of produced by an animal. I
right.
mean, it depends on your definition of an animal too.
Right. That's a great question. And I think that um we saw the name change so many times for cultivated meat. The regulations for this stuff, I think, is one of the biggest questions because yeah, you're right. Like, how is it going to be labeled so that people actually understand what it is? And so what I've seen right now, while companies kind of have the freedom to do that, is animal free. So it's not necessarily I mean, maybe some of them are saying it's vegan. I don't know. Maybe that's a that's a hard that's a gray area, I think. But animal free, that makes sense, I guess.
Right. Because like I know some vegans like won't have like honey because it's made from bees that they consider to be animal, which they are animals, but like where does the line of an animal stop? Does it go all the way to a microorganism? I don't
Oh,
because organism is alive.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you can't see it, but it is. Um, so I don't know. It's just like I don't know if anybody has the answer to that.
Yeah. No, I don't know. And it's like the ethical arguments are really fascinating because it's pretty subjective to the consumer, right? What aligns with your ethics? And how is that going to be defined in like a standardized way so people understand where things come from?
Right. So why is the word fermented in there? Because when I think of fermented, I think of like some like a microorganism like processing sugar.
Yeah, so I think like it still goes through a fermentation process. It's
Hmm.
just using this precise microorganism to do it. So it's added to something like yeast, that can be fermented then and make this end protein or nutrient or whatever. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay. So you tried some of this stuff.
I tried. So it's called Meaty Foods. It's
Mhm.
a company based in Colorado, and they make um, they use it to make mushroom, like a mushroom based meat product, it's like, I see how it's confusing for people to
That's what I
understand.
was gonna say. Like I thought we were talking about a microorganism making a chicken, and now you brought a mushroom into the equation. Now I'm
Yeah.
confused.
So it's just they're using that process to like ferment whatever it is. Um, but the end product was like, I think I bought chicken, they were like chicken nuggets or something. And my kids ate them. I mean, they've never had an actual chicken nugget, but they looked like chicken nuggets. They tasted like you open it up and it's like white and flaky, and the outside's like breaded. I was very impressed that it was just like a mushroom root. I think it was 95% mushroom root, and they use this process to do whatever they do. Um, and I believe that product was labeled as animal free as well.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Could you like trick somebody with it?
I
I'm serious. Like
will sure try.
I wonder. Like I think that I'm open to trying things because I just like trying new stuff. But like my husband is not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I always am wondering, like, can it pass the husband test?
Maybe we should try that.
Maybe. I wonder if I could find it here in Tennessee.
Yeah, meaty foods. Yeah, I mean, I think we're just gonna see that stuff popping up all over. And I know that um, some companies are trying to make egg protein with it. Um, just other, I don't know. There's a lot going on, so we'll
There
see
is
what comes
a lot
next.
going on. And then there's some new um, seafood alternatives. There's egg alternatives. There's chicken. There's one of our clients is doing like there's the air protein.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Mhm. So
yeah.
I think from my understanding, there's a lot of funding available for meat alternatives.
Hmm.
And so there's going to be a lot of, brands popping up.
Definitely. There's a lot of investment behind these things because again, I mean, that's the future of food, I think, especially in the protein space. We can only do what we've been doing for so long with the growing population and just people becoming more aware of the impacts on the environment or their health or whatever, resonates most with you, that you want to make these different choices. And yeah,
Right.
science here to save the day. Well,
So if
sometimes.
somebody wanted to like try a meat alternative, like which one do you like the best?
Oh wow. Um, let's see. I think that, so last night I made some noodles for the boys, and I think it was Beyond Meat makes steak now. That's like these frozen, like chopped pieces of steak. And I haven't eaten steak in over a decade, but I could tell you like that it reminded me of when I did eat steak. So it's pretty convincing. Like those companies like Impossible and Beyond do a really nice job if you are somebody who eats meat, wants something that tastes and looks similar. Um, that's a nice stepping stone. That's certainly not something that I would be like, only eat this because it's not exactly a health food, but like, eat the actual vegetables. That would be the first thing. But if you want to like try something, those are good. And the target market are people that eat meat and just want to see like what else is out there without having to eat like a frozen black bean burger.
Right. No, absolutely. So would you mix it with something or could you just eat it
Oh,
like
like
as
the steak thing. I put it in the noodles. I made like a pesto pasta and then I like heated it up in a skillet and I mixed it in. And it was just like these little pieces of steak and it was really good. I mean, you could use them for tacos. You could use them any way that you use like actual meat. So
cool.
pretty cool.
I always learn something from you because
Yeah.
I don't know. I try like a sample of something, but I don't want to commit to like a whole box.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things that are sitting in the back of my freezer that I purchased large
Oh,
quantities of.
sure.
children decided they'd no longer eat that thing. So I don't need to contribute to that ongoing problem in my house.
Stop buying those bulk bags from Costco of the thing you've never had before.
And I get eat 30 pears by myself because they've more. Pears are my favorite fruit. I'm gonna eat a pear every day.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't like
Oh no, this is gross. Yeah. Yeah.
anyway. Well, thank you, Lauren, and we'll see you at our next episode of Food Trends.
Awesome. See you
All right,
there.
thank you. Bye bye.